In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there's no God but God, and God is the only one who has the right to be worshipped. I also bear witness that Prophet Moses, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon them, are the messengers of God, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. So greetings of peace, and thanks for tuning in. May the peace and blessings of Allah be with you. So in these videos are structured for the preparation of the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus. Peace and blessings be upon them. And as we know, Imam Mahdi will fill the earth with justice, as it was previously filled with injustice. And one of these things that I see is very important in fulfilling this world with justice is the law of gratitude and the law of protection. So we're going to be focusing that in this video today. So there's going to be verses that I'm going to be saying in this video, as well as they'll be in the description box below. So the reason why I'm focusing on the law of gratitude and law of protection is that what's going on, there's a lot of fear in the world today with the COVID-19 stuff, and people, feel like they should wear masks and stuff like that. And for my studies and my research, the masks really don't prevent infections. They're not really even useful in a surgery setting. They find that the infection rates are actually lower when they don't wear masks. They don't prevent the passing of bacteria nor the passing of viruses. So it's really no specific medical reason why we should be wearing masks. They're designed to stop large dust particles. Say if you're in a construction zone or something like that, or there's a lot of thick dust in the air, then it'd be beneficial to wear a mask. But there is no merit for wearing a mask within a pandemic or a fake pandemic or an artificial pandemic. So as I mentioned before, this is a test from Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, tests us on a daily basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. So people are tested. Are they going to be taking Allah as their shield, or are they going to be, taking what the government says or the media says for their protection? So I've discussed like how I don't wear seatbelts. I don't particularly use car insurance where I'm coerced to do it. But I've driven many years without car insurance. I've never had one claim in insurance the times I did have it, and I've never been in any collision with another car that actually caused any damage or anything like that. So I've been driving over for 20 years. I've been taking Allah as my shield, the unique creator of all that exists, and I particularly don't wear masks. And my success has been through the law of gratitude and the law of protection. Before I go out into the world, say to a grocery store, I'll read some Quran verses that will be in the description box below in the law of protection. And that gives me extra protection. I have a lot of gratitude. I'm always exuding gratitude. As Allah says in the Quran, to deal with evil, deal with it with something better. So you don't want to fight fire with fire. You want to fight fire with water. You want to cool those raging flames down. And same with evil. You don't want to fight evil head on with evil. You want to, deal with it with something better, like love, like gratitude, harmony, balance, with the straightforward word, with something that's gonna hit the mark. So, for example, when I went to the grocery store the other day, I went with a lot of gratitude. I read these Quran verses that will be in the description box below. And nobody asked me to wear a mask. I do like a visualization how everything's going to go smooth. I'm going to get my groceries. Everything's going to go well. I'm going to give everybody around me gratitude, love, harmony, balance. I'm going to exude that. I'm going to feel that in my heart center, and trust in the unique creator of all that exists that will protect me. And even the cashier saw that I wasn't wearing a mask, and she took off her mask as well. And it was a very harmonious experience. a nicer older lady, and it's nice to see people not in fear and trusting in the unique creator of all that exists. So we can have this positive effects in the world. A lot of studies, experiments have been done where crime rates were lowered by people like meditating and sending out good vibes, good energy, good frequency energy, praying for those people. So all our prayers, all our gratitude, all our positive feelings of love and compassion to God's creation will help alleviate a lot of the fear, a lot of the crime, and a lot of the discord in the world today. So that's why I want to bring about the law of gratitude and the law of protection in these times. I saw a recent video where a group of Orthodox Jews were burning their masks in the street of New York City. And that's great that they reject the mask. Obviously, it doesn't prevent harm from a pandemic, but what it does show is that they reject it, which is good. But the next step is to show gratitude and to take the unique creator of all that exists as their shield and protector alone. So I've got some Quran verses of gratitude, and I got some Quran verses of the law of protection to help us understand. Even if you want to, like me, read these Quran verses before I go out somewhere, it really helps to to achieve a higher level of protection, and also it's just good knowledge to understand and embody, and you'll notice a more positive experience. So, law of gratitude in chapter 39, verse 7. If you show ingratitude, surely Allah is independent of you. He does not require your thanks, yet He does not approve of His people to be ungrateful. Indeed, it is for your own sake that He approves of you being grateful. So Allah approves of us being grateful. Obviously, gratitude has a lot of benefits. It shows a lot of appreciation, and I feel the more gratitude you have, the more you're wanting to do your daily prayers, more wanting to give in charity, you're more appreciative of everybody around you. And this is a cause and effect universe, so that gratitude will come back to you. And the next chapter and verse we have here is chapter 67, verse 23. Say, it is He who has brought you into being and made you ears to hear, eyes to see, and hearts to understand. Yet little thanks you give. So as humankind, as human beings in general, we are very ungrateful beings. Allah does so much for us to a moment-to-moment basis. Our hearts are beating. Things are going on within our physical bodies, and things around us that are going on in the unseen that we don't know about, that are all to our benefit. As Allah mentions, we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts to understand. And I know for me personally, when I'm not in gratitude, when say I'm maybe complaining about something, it's been my experience where maybe I'll bump my head, or I feel like things are not going well around me, and then I'll check myself. Oh, I'm not in gratitude. I need to go back in gratitude. I need to be appreciative to the unique creator of all that exists. Go back into my heart center, feel that love, feel that compassion, and express that gratitude to all of God's creation, and show compassion to all of God's creation as well. So in this next Quran verse, it is discussing an example where Solomon understands the law of gratitude. And this is where he is replacing the Queen Sheba's throne. So in chapter 27, verse 40, one Israelite who had knowledge of the scriptures said, I will bring it to you before your Yemanite noble guests come to you. And when he, Solomon, saw it, the throne set before him, he said, this is due to the grace of my Lord, so that He may reveal my inner self to show whether I am grateful for all His favors or ungrateful. Indeed, he who thanks, his thanksgiving is for his own good. And he who shows ingratitude, let him remember that my Lord is truly self-sufficient and is in need of no praise, oft-generous and noble in His own right. So the key takeaway is that Solomon, being one of the most wise prophets of Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, knew that this throne that was made for him to test the Queen of Saba, to see if she was going to be grateful for her new throne, or is she going to be wanting to choose back her old idolatrous throne. So Solomon knew that it came from due to the grace of the unique creator of all that exists, Allah. And it was a test for him, just like wearing the mask or not is a test to see you'll take Allah as your shield or not. That are you grateful or not? Was Solomon grateful in this situation or not? So there is a lot of things in this world that are unjust. There's lots of injustice. There's lots of things to complain about, but it's more effective to deal with evil with something that's better, as Allah says in the Quran. So dealing things with gratitude, dealing things with compassion, with love and affection, can really help change the outcomes of our future possibilities. So we're going to go moving into the law of protection. Now, very important for me to recite these laws of protection before I go out, because I want things to go smooth. I want things to be in harmony and balance, and I want that protection from the unique creator of all that exists. So in chapter 2, verse 189, and it is no virtue that you come into the houses from the backs of them, but the true virtue is he who guards against evil. So instead of fostering superstitious habits, you should rather enter the houses from your proper doors and take Allah as a shield so that you may be successful. So there's lots of superstitious activities that we do that have no effect at all, like going in. You think you're going to be more protected by going in through the back door, or if you think you're going to be more protected by wearing a mask, or fill in the blank. So for me as well, like there's no, I don't feel like I'm going to be protected more or less if I wear my seatbelt or not. I've been driving over 20 years, and without my seatbelt, roughly about 20 years. So taking that leap of faith, having that iman to live in God's protection is way more beneficial, way more liberating, way more freer, and you feel more alive. So in chapter 33, verse 35, this is what Allah has in store for those who take Him for protection, and great reward for those who do these particular activities. So verily Allah has in store protection from faults and a great reward for the men and women who submit themselves to the will of God, and for the men and women who believe, and for the men and women who are obedient to Allah, and for the men and women who are true to Allah and true to their word, and for the men and to the women who are patiently persevering in the faith and righteousness, and for the men and women who give charity to the needy, and for the men and the women who fast, and for the men and the women who guard their chastity, and for the men and the women who remember and glorify Allah with all His praises again and again. So these are just some things that also will help protect you and give you great reward, as doing the prayers, remembering Allah over and over again, giving in charity, doing things in the cause of Allah, doing things in faith and righteousness, taking the unique creator of all that exists as your shield and protector alone, being patiently persevering in the cause of Allah, and being obedient and abiding by God's laws and commandments. So those who take Allah as a shield shall be conducted to paradise. So in chapter 39, verse 73, and those who took their Lord as a shield will be conducted to paradise in multitudes until when they reach it, and its gates are open to welcome them, and its keepers say to them, peace be upon you, be you happy and prosperous, enter it, you will be abiding therein forever and ever. So taking the unique creator of all that exists as your shield and protector alone can grant you into paradise. For me, that's why I don't wear my seatbelt. I want those extra rewards. I don't wear the mask. I want those extra rewards. by not wearing the mask, you could be entering into paradise. So in this next verse, why they were destroyed by calamity, in chapter 47, verse 10 through 11, have they not traveled in the land to see how miserable was the end to which their predecessors who had disbelieved in the former prophets had come? Allah utterly destroyed them. The same fate awaits these disbelievers. That is because whereas Allah is a protecting friend of those who believe, the disbelievers have no protecting friend. So a law of protection that the disbelievers that don't take Allah as their protecting friend have no protector, whereas the believers that do take Allah as their shield do have protection. So in this next verse, Allah does not grant protection to those who disbelieve and hinder people from the path of Allah. So in chapter 47, verse 34, Allah will never grant protection from their sins to those who disbelieve and hinder people from following the path of Allah, and then died while they were still disbelievers. So those who are pushing fear, like wanting to wear the mask, people who are giving seatbelt tickets and car insurance tickets and stuff like that, and other things that forbid you to take Allah as your shield in certain situations, for travel and for shopping in stores or just traveling in general, like wearing the mask. These are all ways how they hinder people from, these disbelievers hinder people from the path of Allah to take the unique creator of all that exists. I'm commanded by Allah to take him as shield and protector alone. So those disbelievers will not have protection. And in the next verse here, Allah defends the believers. In chapter 22, verse 38, Allah will certainly defend those who believe, because Allah loves no untrustworthy, ungrateful person. In this next verse, Allah, the only real protecting friend, as Allah says in chapter 42, verse 31, and you cannot frustrate Allah's purpose in the earth, nor have you, apart from Allah, any real protecting friend or helper. So Allah is our only true protecting friend or helper. And Allah grants protection by free will. So we live in a free will, cause and effect universe. As Allah says in chapter 48, verse 14, the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth belongs to Allah. He grants protection to the person who wishes to come under his protection, and punishes whom he will. Yet the fact is that Allah is great protector, ever merciful. So we live in a free will universe and cause and effect universe. So those that want to disbelieve and not take Allah's unique creator of all that exists, they want to wear their seatbelts, they want to have that car insurance, they want to wear the mask, they want the vaccine, they don't want to take the unique creator of all that exists for their protector and shield alone. We'll be obviously losing out on a lot of rewards in the hereafter, and we'll be living in fear in this world, and who knows what will end up with them in the hereafter, where they'll end up. So very important for us to have a lot of gratitude, as we know from the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, that Imam Mahdi, peace and blessings be upon him, will fill the earth with justice, as it was previously filled with injustice. So one of the main justices is the law of gratitude. Have that gratitude, fill the earth with gratitude, fill the world with compassion, with love, with appreciation for all the things that Allah does, even all the crazy stuff that goes on in the world. Deal with the evil with something that's better, and obviously to take Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, for protection. And in these times, very important to have protection financially as well, as we do prepare for the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, known as the Mashiach. So we want to have fresh, healthy food if we can grow it our own, or have access to freshly organic foods. We want to have a good home. We want to have gold and silver, as this will be the money of the future. It's been God's money for thousands of years. And we're moving in the times of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them, the Mashiachs, and we'll be eventually moving into gold and silver money system. So you can get your gold and silver at a very low price. It's been suppressed for over 100 years, gold and silver. so you can prepare yourself for the future. You can have your your proper setup for the future, so you'll be more confident as the days go by. And prepare with knowledge, prepare with understanding, with these videos that I make for us to help understand the law of gratitude and the law of protection, so we can navigate properly in these uncertain times, you could say. So basically, I don't really want to complain. There's a lot of things that I could talk about, all the injustice in the world, but I just want to focus on the gratitude in this video. I want to focus on the protection of Allah, the unique creator of all that exists in our lives. Take him as a shield protector alone is very important. I feel much more protected in my life than I ever have before by embodying these divine truths and wisdoms and reciting and reading these Quran verses of protection and of gratitude as well. So when you're out there, when you're out in the world, or just at home with your family, try gratitude to everything around you, your family members, everybody, all of God's creation, and take Allah as your shield. Like I said, I've been in many stores without masks. I don't get bothered. I'm always giving a lot of gratitude. I'm always giving a lot of compassion from my heart center to all of God's creations, all of God's people. So that helps. People don't feel threatened from you. They'll feel a calm, a peace, and their workspace they're very stressed from wearing the masks and stuff like that. So when somebody comes in with the belief that they're protected from the unique creator of all that exists, is exuding a lot of compassion and gratitude to all the beings in their surroundings. It really uplifts them and gives them a brighter look for the future as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take Allah as your shield, and may the peace and blessings of Allah be with you. Thank you so much. Peace.